I want to introduce you first because you're somebody that we're going to see on this platform a lot in the next year. At least once a month, we're going to chat with you about health, fitness, wellness, inside and out. And this is Erica Stenz, by the way. If you don't already know who she is, she's a celebrity trainer here in the Bay Area. If you've taken any fitness classes in the San Francisco Bay Area, you know who this wonderful woman is. But in addition to being a trainer, she's also an author, she's a speaker, she's a model, obviously. And she's the founder of We Shred by Erica Stenz, which is this program and community of men and women that are together kind of achieving their best selves, both physically, mentally, and just health-wise. And the first kind of, we're kind of kicking off this monthly segment with you, kind of talking more general, because, speaking of the masks coming off, so many of us are heading back to work. A lot of people are heading to the salon and getting new haircuts. Maybe you're buying some new clothes. It's sort of like you're going back to school because so many of us have been home for so long. And the number one thing I'm hearing from so many people is that, oh man, I really packed on a few pounds, or, oh gosh, I don't know, I've been wearing sweatpants for 2 years now and just kind of, lounging around and feeling comfortable in my own home. I'm having wine every night and, and frankly, eating a lot of that comfort food, and they want to get back. They want to get back to, excuse me, how they were before and getting back into that routine. So I guess my first question, excuse me, my first question is, for folks that are just kind of getting back into it, what do you think is the number one thing people can start doing right now, today, to start feeling better about themselves?
Thank you for that incredible introduction. Take some water. And thank you for, obviously telling people a little bit about what We Shred is. She said it very well. It is shredding. It actually stands for we are shredding the negative beliefs, the limiting beliefs, and the I can'ts to help people become their best version of themselves. And so much of it is defining what it is that's stopping you. So you start with what are you telling yourself I can't? Is it I can't lose the pounds because now my whole life is different, I actually do have to go to work, or because of COVID now I'm taking care of my kids on top of working, or maybe the I can't is I can't do this nutrition thing, I can't really fit it in, I can't do the workouts because I just don't have time, and I'm traveling all the time now that things are getting lifted. And so it's first just recognizing what it is that's stopping you, and then we start super slow. Step one, if there's one thing you do, the best supplement in the world is, do you know this one? Yes.
H2O.
It's water. It's just step one is just tracking your water. And I just think that, when we get clients and we do our intake form, it's really just starting there. Being that I always say water is the best fat supplement in the world, fat burning supplement. It's free and it's in your hands. And in order to oxidize fat and break down fat, it starts with water. Hydrating yourself, which is why water is with me at all times, but getting 100 ounces can help you so much. If you do nothing but drink water and just start tracking how much water you have in the day,
yeah.
I see clients all the time shredding and shedding.
By just drinking more water, that's it. Not exercising necessarily more, not necessarily tweaking their diets, just drinking. So 100 ounces of water. So can you give me kind of an idea of what that looks like? I mean, we know what, a 32-ounce bottle looks like. Okay, so really she just basically be drinking at least 3 of those and maybe
exactly.
3 of those.
I have a 32-ounce that I always try to think, okay, 3 of these, perfect. Or I go with my We Shred, my Lululemon bottle. This is 24, right? Yeah. So an extra one. Or I like to reuse glass jars all the time. This was from Go Methodology, my food delivery. So I know this is 20 ounces. You can definitely measure out and just do one water bottle at a time. But honestly, what's easier and what I say to people is buy whatever bottle that works. For me,
Right.
it's always a straw. If there's a straw, I'll drink. Otherwise, I don't. It's harder. I spill. I'm in conversation. So it's anything for me with a straw, and that works for you. In the like right now, I'm seeing 3. I also have a sparkling water. So I have 3 things of water. I also have one on my vanity, one on my bedside, always one on my desk, and always a couple just in the fridge, and in my car. So first is just finding any bottle that works for you. You can get really affordable ones on Amazon for $15, right? These plastic ones. And then, I mean, obviously, if you're eco-friendly, don't go for plastic. But if it starts there, I will say, order at least 5. Don't just order 1. Order at least 5 and have them in all the places. And also know that if you do have a significant other or whatnot, they're going to take yours. So make sure you're ordering for yourself and your family.
And you're going to leave them in different places too. You might leave it at work. And so I had a good question here. Somebody asked here in the chat about water enhancers, things that you can put in your water either to make them taste a little bit better, give them a little bit more flavor, or maybe those things with, you know, vitamin C or electrolytes. What do you think about those enhancers? Are they as effective as just plain old water?
Anything that gets you to drink water, as long as it doesn't have added bad sugar. Not when I say bad sugar, I mean fake sugar.
Okay.
So when, you know, you're looking at a label, as for example, I'm looking at this label as sparkling water with natural flavor. That's it. Water, natural flavor. And it's mango. And I get this question a lot. Is sparkling water, does that count towards my water goal? Yes.
Okay.
I like Power Beats. It's like a natural little pre-workout that doesn't have any caffeine. It's completely natural. It's just powdered beets that does flavor your water naturally. And then I just was talking to a client actually today, a newbie, and she is struggling with just getting rid of the Diet Coke. And I said, well, one thing you can do is get a sparkling water and maybe add a couple little drops of the liquid stevia and put that with some, you know, crumbled up mint or some lime juice, make it a cocktail, a mocktail. So something that, you know, because sometimes it's really hard to go from I'm drinking this to just plain water. So I like that you asked that question. Another one that I do, especially after a really sweaty class, is I'll just put a Nuun tablet, N-U-U-N, which is just straight electrolytes.
Okay.
And so we definitely talk about that. But
yeah,
in general,
I noticed when I started drinking more water, just in the first couple of days, you do feel different. I think because it's like it's a new habit that you're not, and you're frankly, to my detriment, I wasn't used to being that hydrated. And so yeah, you're going to the bathroom more often. And you do feel a little bit different. It takes a minute kind of to adjust to this new normal of being really hydrated.
And it starts with just putting your timer on and little things like when you wake up, you know, maybe your tendency is to go first to your coffee. Now try to drink 20 ounces before your first sip of coffee. Or maybe you have some hot water with some lemon to cleanse the system before. My kind of, when I got myself into drinking a lot more water, definitely what helped was having a timer at 12 o'clock to get my 50 ounces by 12. And that helped me so that by 3, I'd get my 75. So that by 7, I'm done. Because like you said, you don't want to you don't want to wait and backload all your water for nighttime and then you're trying to sleep. And that is actually my third tip, which we can talk about, is sleep. And so going into these little teeny tweaks, I think what I get a lot of time is people go, no, it's too much we shred because it's this all-encompassing thing. And I go, wait, let's just break it down week by week for you. Let's start with just the water right there, number 1. Then let's start a food log, number 2, just to get awareness of what you're doing. It doesn't even have to be perfect components. It could just be a little piece of paper or notes on your app. Just what are you doing right now? And even just the exercise of writing it down.
Not even worrying about what the different foods are. It could be French fries. It could be a Snickers bar. It could be an apple. Right.
100%.
Okay.
Write it all down and try that for a week just to get kind of an understanding of what's happening.
Mm-hmm.
And then you start, okay, this is kind of what's happening. So maybe after that week you go, wow, okay, I didn't realize I actually do have a lot of added sugar
Mm-hmm.
and maybe more drinks than I was thinking.
Mm-hmm.
So then you go, maybe I do a 7-day kind of reset of no added sugar and see how that feels.
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe, again, looking at client intake forms, when people start to fill us out, they go, whoa, I didn't even realize how many drinks I was having. So
Mm-hmm.
just the awareness of like right now, if you're watching this, maybe just write down like, how many total in the week?
Mm-hmm.
And that could even just help. Just an idea, of being just a little bit more mindful so that when we go back into all these things that we're doing,
Mm-hmm.
and we want to celebrate togetherness. It's like time to be together, and it's so exciting, and so it's maybe reshifting in a week, and you look at your week and go, whoa, I had 10 drinks that week maybe. Instead, next week, I'm going to pick and choose which ones are really worth it for me, which ones are maybe not.
Mm-hmm.
Like, me, if I'm dating and this is a first date and, it's going to start with a walk. It's always going to start with a walk because then, we're all getting steps, we're all happy. And then if that goes well, maybe it's a coffee. Mm-hmm. But to like start at a bar, maybe at the, when you're meeting somebody, and then you maybe go, oh gosh, this isn't going so much. So where? The last thing you want to do is just sit there with empty calories and poison and going, uh-oh, I just wasted, like, But again, I am fun. I do drink. It just takes me a little minute to get to know you.
Of course.
So
I think probably for a lot of people coming back and getting back into that healthy mindset, healthy eating, getting back into shape, or the best for, I don't want to say get into shape, because that's different for everybody. It's more like getting back to feeling your best self. And yeah, so water, sleep is very, very important. So when you talk about sleep, I want to go back to that because I think we've done some stories this week on people just really struggling to sleep these days, whether it be the anxiety of just the past couple of years, or people are stressed for other reasons of just what's happening in the world. But it's been a challenge just to get those 6 to 8 hours. So in your professional opinion, what do you think is kind of the ideal amount of sleep to really be able to perform at your best the next day, whether it be exercising or just going to work?
7 to 9 hours.
7 to 9 hours.
And, again, it definitely starts with tracking.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of, the alcohol, for example, a lot of people start wearing an Oura ring or something that can track their sleep, or even just writing it down, and then realize, whoa, the effects that's leading up is, obviously alcohol is hard to process in your body, so it's going to work on processing that versus trying to sleep. Mm-hmm. And so something like even just tracking could be a big first start. Mm-hmm. And then you can find the pattern. Oh, wow. Then the next day it kind of goes into a spiral where you're really tired and you're trying to catch up. And every day you're trying to catch up. And then it's lack of sleep, even more lack of sleep until you get into a routine. Mm-hmm. And so I think what I try to do for myself, because I am running a business now and doing all the things, is I need to implement an alarm clock for my shutdown time. Mm-hmm. My own shutdown that I can say goodbye work. Okay, I am just going to take this time to not text, not look at Instagram, not work, and instead I'm going to start decompressing. Mm-hmm. And so that's when I go, okay, maybe I do just take this food and appreciate it, and to have some calm magnesium tea and start decompressing at this certain time. And I do this with a lot of clients that go, I ended up just eating really, really late at night, mm-hmm. mindlessly.
Yeah.
And then because I'm so full and my digestive system's upset and I'm really wired because I never got that shutdown time, I ended up, doing X, Y, and Z. That again has the spiral effect because you wake up in the morning and you're not ready for that early morning walk or whatever it is. Right. So it's just tracking it, step number one, and then finding that shutdown time. If that's it's hugely helpful.
Yeah. And then let's talk a little bit about exercise, because that's another thing I think there's a little bit of confusion about, because there's a lot of information about what you should be doing in terms of, number one, starting an exercise routine, and number two, something that you should stick with. You know, we're going to get into this in future segments, but talk a little bit about, you know, okay, we're just getting back into it. You want to find something that's sustainable, at least in the first couple of months as we're sort of adjusting to getting ourselves back. We're focusing on our water, we're focusing on our sleep. What's kind of a small goal, achievable goal that folks can try to meet in these first couple of months as we're getting back?
Love this question. Because again, I've been a fitness trainer and a coach for 12 years, right? And so this is my forte. I love to talk about fitness. The truth is, I will say this, remember this, quote me on this, the 23 hours outside that 1 hour workout is the biggest game changer. Mm-hmm. And so when it comes to, you know, what to do first, food first.
Okay.
Right? Getting your sleep, getting your water, and getting your food. Then, ideally, great, you're supplementing with a workout. But what we start with, as you guys know, if you're doing We Shred, we always start with just a step goal. And just to see where you're at step-wise. Before you even add in the element of workout, tracking just how many steps, whether it be on your phone, if you're walking, or an Apple Watch, or a Fitbit, or anything you have, just to get awareness of how much are you moving your body. Because the, you know, American Guidelines Association recommends 10,000 steps a day. And before I implement a workout regimen for somebody, or a plan or a program, first I go, how much movement are you doing? If you're saying, like, I had a day this week where I walked 867 steps. It was a really big work day.
Yeah.
And you know what, I didn't, and that's okay. And that's okay, because right now, the thing about COVID, I think that because everything is so virtual and because it is remote, we can keep working. Yeah. And it's just awareness on how many steps you're at. So if you are calculating, I'm on average right now getting 5,000 steps a day. Well, that's good data. Next week, let's try to get 6,000. The next week, let's try to get 7,000. Once you're getting that 10,000 regularly, that's a huge win. And then what I say is, past that, let's start talking about those workouts then. You know, let's start adding it. If you get 10 to 12, I like the other tagline is 12K is the new 10K. Once you start getting 12K steps, yeah, you want to really think about how to add in strength training. Could really, you know, take it up another level. Obviously, increase your metabolism, build muscle. There's so many health benefits to working out, not just physically and aesthetically, but for your health, for your longevity, to prevent osteoporosis. You know, so many things. But first step is the first step. It's just walking. Getting your steps.
Even if it's just around the block on your coffee break or lunch break a couple times, every little bit counts.
It really does. You know, I have 2 treadmills upstairs, a really nice gym, because I live in this building with 100 people. It's very nice. But I tell you this, to get upstairs, I live on the 6th floor to the 12th. That's an ordeal sometimes when you're trying to pack in work and things like this. So I have a little baby treadmill right here that cost me like $600 from Costco that I hop on, because I can't tell my clients, you know, really try to get those steps if I can't do it myself. And so I'm obviously the coach to give you all the tips. And one little tip is, if you are working remotely, take one call a day. One work call, walking outside on the blocks, or on a treadmill, or, you know, that's why I do most of our We Shred group meetings we walk and talk. And if you can, and I know this is a big ask, especially for parents, if you can wake up first thing, get your alarm clock a little bit earlier and just do it first thing in the morning, then then you at least got it in. Because so many times if I don't get it first thing, which is why we walk every day at either 7:30 a.m. in person on Chrissy Fields or virtually on Zoom,
Yeah.
We do that Monday through Friday or weekends at 8. It's just prioritizing even that little time, ideally in the morning, because fasted cardio is another big win.
Okay, so that's a good tip. So, and you've spoken a lot about too when you want to, if walking is really your jam right now, and what you can really probably get, what you have the bandwidth for, when you have all these other things going on in your life. If walking is what you can do, you break it up. It's not like you're doing 10,000 steps in one go. I mean, if you can, great. But sometimes it's a 10-minute walk in the morning, a 20-minute walk in the afternoon, or 10, whatever, however you want to break it up. And it all counts. It's not like you got to do it all in one go.
100%. Same when it comes to workout too. It doesn't matter if you do a 10-minute strength training session and then, like I was helping my mom with her daycare. So had to open at 7:30 and take care of all the kids. They napped from 12 to 2:30. So then I got in a little bit of cleaning session, but then I got my other little lift in. Good. Got 30 minutes in. Okay, good. Now the kids are going to be picked up at 5:30. And so I can grab in maybe another 20 minutes to get my 16-minute strength set. This from a, physical standpoint, doesn't matter. Yeah. Of course, if you were targeting cardiovascular endurance, which is why I feel like we definitely need a whole segment on just exercise.
Yes,
then
we will.
Do you want to make sure it's like elevated at your target heart rate for 30 minutes just for the heart health. But in general, like you said, and for my own example, I only got that 800 steps that day. It's okay. Yesterday, I went on a long walk with my wheat shredders. And instead, over the course of 2 days, I was still able to get 10,000 steps per day. So what I tell clients is if you had a really big work day or if you're traveling, it's okay. In the end of the week, let's calculate those steps. In the end, could you get 70,000 steps?
Or take a long walk on a Saturday if you got a free day. Now I want to kind of go back to the diet part of it, because I know folks are going to wonder, okay, yes, I'm going to do the water, yes, I'm going to try to get more sleep, I'm going to try to get my steps, but the diet is, as you said, kind of the most important part about this whole equation in terms of feeling like your best self. So when you look at, a lot of people are going to be eating dinner right now. Maybe they already had dinner, or maybe they're thinking about their breakfast tomorrow. Who knows? But in your mind, what does the ideal plate look like? And it might be different from what the standards and guidelines are going to say. Because if you look at those graphs, they still talk about how grains and, dairy and all those are supposed to take up a large part of your plate. But now it sounds like the more we talk to fitness experts like yourself, nutritionists like yourself, it sounds like, well, that's not probably the healthiest plate for everybody, right?
Yes. And here's the thing. In order to totally give you the best answer, it would mean an individualized approach for that person. So my overall answer would be get a coach. And on my team, I have a registered dietitian, Bonnie, to make sure that we're individually meeting your own needs. So one is to always get a coach to talk about your specific dietary preferences, your needs, your goals. Do you want to gain weight, lose weight, maintain? Are you vegetarian, vegan, paleo, all those things. So first always is get a coach, and then keep it simple. Keep it super simple. And even if that means in the week, you're kind of eating more habitually, you're eating kind of the same thing. And so my go-to plate, if you are trying to lose weight, is clean and lean protein. And then think veggies, amazing nutrients, even double the nutrients and vitamins. So it's in something like, spinach. I have eggplant in front of me. In fact, because I was trying to eat a little bit before this interview, I literally have a half-eaten, jar of methodology chicken. So this would be, and these come in 2 servings. So I'd have half of this. Then I have some eggplant. Okay. And then what I do, because, lack of time, is literally I just put half and half of this onto a big, big salad of, arugula and just mixed greens. And it's a huge salad. And I do think even one tip to start, if you don't know where to start, is have a healthy salad a day. Just get some greens. Your body feels good when you get some healthy nutrients. Put some veggies on it. Put some lean protein. It could be chicken. It could be tofu. It could be salmon. It could be fish. Whatever you like. But ultimately, thinking, wow, this protein is going to satiate me. It's going to help me keep my hunger hormones regulated, instead of sometimes when I look at people's current meal plans without protein and fiber, what I think is happening, what I know is happening from a scientific standpoint, is without those components, it's like, boom, your blood sugar spikes all day. And when your blood sugar goes, boom, blood sugar is like high because you just had something that's, maybe it's just like a piece of bread, white toast without the fiber, the protein, the fats. So blood sugar increases, pancreas, I'm going to secrete some insulin to help me get the blood sugar back into the storage to drop that, because your body just wants to be normal blood sugar all day long. And then what happens when you do that is you actually dip below again. You dip below normal. And then you get hangry and you get hungry all over again and you get cranky. And so instead of these big swings, think fiber, protein, healthy veggies, and then you go, and then your body's like, it takes 9 hours for your body to digest this one piece. 9 hours, okay? Versus the carbs, sometimes it takes like 2 to 4 hours. And so having protein in your body at all times helps you sustain the hunger hormone and, keeping that really regulated. And then, of course, fiber and carbs are great. Healthy carbs are great. It's all part of our We Shred Balance program. And in fact, if you do the carbs if you do them around your workouts, around your strength training, carbs can fuel the protein into the muscle stores to help increase your lean muscle mass. And so there's no there's no bad food. It's just, again, what is your goal? Are you trying to lose weight? Or maintain or build? First, we start there. That's why really, again, having a coach to just talk to you about this is so, so crucial. And if you want just really quick recipes that, I love, that are super clean, you can definitely find those on my website, ericastenz.com. You can download my recipe books. Yeah, you can DM me, and we have a beautiful recipe book. Now it's divided in 2, and we have a whole shake recipe book. So if you want it, and they're mostly come from my clients who just put together really clean, easy meals that are 5 to 10 minutes. Amazing. If you
it easy and attainable, and it doesn't take a long time, because I think a lot of folks are frankly just kind of maxed out right now of balancing all these things of going back to work, to coming back to normal, to managing their children, managing their jobs. And I think when it comes to getting back into shape or getting healthy, it can be overwhelming, because they're thinking, I don't have time for this. It's going to be too much. It's going to be expensive. It's going to be time consuming. But I think your tips of drinking, trying to get 100 ounces a day is a great one. Trying to get your steps wherever you can, however you can get them, whether it be the 10-minute walk to Starbucks and then combine that with a walk around the block during lunchtime. And it's like, it sounds like, I know how you function. You kind of make like a little game out of it. It's like, okay, well, if I can make this goal by this time, it's kind of like you're competing with yourself a little bit, and then adding it all up in the end. You'll be astonished with how much you accomplished, because you weren't even thinking about it. You just were walking.
And walking and keeping it simple. There's so much energy that goes into gray area things, so much energy. And so at times when you're really multitasking and you have lots on your plate, sometimes it is easier to go simple and go, okay, I'm just going to start with this, which is why, we give you the grocery list and go, just start with this. When we talk one-on-one, yeah, we can add things, we can tweak things, no problem. But just start here. And then you'll find that this space comes when you start going, okay, maybe for now I am just going to say like no to this added sugar for now. And instead I'll find the replacement. Right. And I do tell you, like, I wish I had time more to cook. I wish I did. I don't. I do small recipes, and even just having a little delivery doesn't even have to be much, but something. When I hit the ground running Monday, I get these on Sunday night. So sometimes because I'm working on the weekends as well, sometimes I go, oh, thank God, this is like a lifesaver just to buy me some time to get to the grocery store to then make those healthy meals.
Yeah.
So
making that a priority of trying to cook ahead for sure.
Yeah. And I think one of my clients, she says, and she's one of the really successful ones of We Shred, and she goes, what I realize is I kick ass at my career. She's like a boss woman. We have some incredible role models for me in our crew. And she goes, I schedule work meetings left and right. My whole day's packed. And so it's almost funny to me that I thought, oh, I could just kind of tackle this like weight loss thing on my own without scheduling the meetings, without scheduling the one-on-one call with the coach, without putting a little note to self, hey, this is going to be my meal 1, 2, 3, 4. It's so funny because I schedule everything else, but I don't schedule this little thing that really maybe takes 10 minutes in the morning to wake up 15 minutes before and write down on paper your little plan can shape your whole rest of your day.
It takes it out of that part of it.
It takes it out. And, if you are struggling, because I do think a lot of people come to me with already the knowing of, okay, I already kind of know I need to drink water, I need to sleep more, I need to get my steps, I need to work out, and I need to eat better. What is missing is the accountability. I have a coach too, right? And last month, as you know, I paid Bonnie, can you coach me? I have 2 coaches right now. And I also have a pivot coach for business, for relationship, for therapy. I can't tell you, having a coach is invaluable for literally just this sake. It's going, hey, I've been running around crazy and working, and I'm also going to Seattle for this big panel thing. Okay, let's take a pause and let's just talk about what you're going to put in your cooler, what you're going to take on that trip. And so again, there's never a great time to do everything all at once, but there's always a good time to prioritize your health and grab a coach. And another client said, a goal without a plan is a wish. And so many people start the month with this wish, like, this is the month, this is my month. I'm gonna do it, and then and they go with this positive momentum, maybe a week, maybe even 2 weeks, and then what happens is you water that plant, and you water it, and then the other plants of life that maybe take priority take over. So you stop watering the plant we'll call it self-care, or maybe you're watering it, and then you're like, I don't see that thing sprouting. I don't see the definition coming. I don't see those pounds dropping. So it's like, the valley of doubt gets real. You stop trusting the process. And you go, okay, whatever. And so again, it's that accountability, which is, I think that is one of the biggest things that I hope to provide for clients so that we can reach a level of consistency.
Yeah. Well, I think, talking about tracking what you're eating every day, tracking the water, tracking your steps, before, folks out there who may not be ready to make the next step to get a coach. I mean, that's sort of the accountability with yourself and becoming self-aware and going, oh my gosh, I guess I did have 4 drinks last night. Oh man, I only got 3 hours of sleep. And, you know, it's interesting how you start making these little changes, the water, and you start to feel different. You start to look a little different. Maybe you look a little bit brighter. Maybe, you know, you're not quite as, your eyes aren't quite so swollen anymore, and things like that. And it's like those little improvements. It's amazing how that can inspire other changes. And the next step could be the steps. And the next step could be looking at your dinner plate and saying, you know, maybe I do just want some veggies and some lean protein and healthy carbs and things like that. And it's amazing how small steps can lead to huge life changes. And that's what I want to accomplish with this chat today, was just that, you know, I know a lot of folks out there are kind of, and it's daunting because you're kind of going, I'm handling all this stuff, and then I also want to take care of myself. I also want to be healthy. I want to get back to the best version of myself. Where do I start? And here's some fabulous steps to do that. And I can't wait for this journey with you for the next however long we go. And it'll be every month we're going to tackle a different fitness or health topic that is hopefully going to make everybody out there feel better, and to their eyes hopefully look better too, but most importantly feel better inside and out, and that's what you're all about. And I'm so happy to chat with you today, and I can't wait to talk to you next month. And thank you for all your insight. This has just been incredibly invaluable. And for folks who are watching, I'm going to put all of her information in the description on this video. You can click on it whenever you want, and all of her contact is going to be there. And we'll hopefully maybe next week or next month we'll share a couple little recipes that are quick and easy that you can get when you're running out the door.
Yes, I so much appreciate you coming full circle on that. Again, if you're not ready for a coach, you could literally just take whatever you learned today and say, hey friend, hey mom, I'm going to try this water thing. Can we be partners for the week and just like see if we can hit this water goal together? The community, the support, it's the last little piece.
Yeah,
so it's the courage to start, to even just open a book and just track. That takes courage, commitment to your goals, and then consistency to do it every damn day. Keep watering it, and then community. Surround yourself with people. It will be easier. Thank you so much. I can't wait for more. There's so much more I want to talk about. Oh my gosh.
We've got lots of topics, because right now health and fitness is always such a big hot topic for so many folks, and there's always these new fad things that are coming out. We're going to talk about all of that, what's true, what's not. We're going to talk intermittent fasting. We're going to talk juice cleanses. We're going to talk about cardio. We're going to talk about it all.